We are now on the Tech Talk segment of the show. Now, today we are focusing on a fast rising and highly important topic: digital currency and the future of money in Nigeria. From mobile payments and fintech innovations to cryptocurrency and central bank digital initiatives, Nigeria is experiencing a major shift in how money is used and understood. Joining us today to break this down is Daniel Odiachi, lead developer at Hizo Africa. Daniel, thank you for joining me on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. Paul. Thank you for having me.
I hope I didn't murder your surname.
No, it's forgiven. Odiachi.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now, Daniel, in simple terms, what is digital currency?
Okay, so truth about it is that digital
Mm,
currency is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so digital currency is just basically what happens behind the scenes when you make that when you purchase data online, when you do a transfer from one bank account to another, when you download USDT, you do crypto. So the basic
Mm,
idea is that the end users don't get to touch cash,
yeah.
right? So what
Mm,
just happens is that money moves from one ledger to another, a wallet is credited,
mm,
another wallet is debited, and the numbers are reconciled at the end of the day. So
mm,
digital money is just anything that you do electronically, e-money. I don't necessarily have to hold cash or hold fiat and have physical exchange, right? So it's done from the comfort of my home, from my mobile device with internet or USSD enabled access.
mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, how is digital currency different from mobile money and traditional banking apps?
Okay. So basically, right, if you really want to dig it deep, like dig it deep down, now when you have things like mobile money, you are basically using.
Mm,
I will just come from a technical perspective. At least you said this was a
okay.
tech session, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
you now look at the infrastructure you're using to process these transactions, right? So if you're using rails like NIBS from the CBN, NIBS and NIBDS, you
Yes.
are basically dealing with, I want it's still digital money in a sense of it because of the medium it passes through. But then NIBS
Mm,
is our traditional banking infrastructure, core infrastructure, right? So when you now say digital currency, I think we are tending towards the use of crypto, the blockchain,
mm,
right? We're using more of
yeah.
the blockchain. We're holding, I have a ledger, you have a ledger. We're able to like exchange money with zero trust. There's no core infrastructure, like one central infrastructure, like the way we do it in Nigeria, where you transfer money from OPay to Access Bank and you have to wait for Access Bank to confirm settlement before you know that okay, your transfer has gone through. At the end of the day, there's a settlement between all the banks. It's not like it's instant. But for digital currency, through the blockchain, we are able to just,
Mm,
I'm able to send money and receive money on the go, confirm it on the go. So that's where I would
mm.
term digital currency.
Oh, okay. Now, why is digital currency becoming so important globally right now? Because it's so, let me see, use the word in vogue. Why is it becoming so important and in vogue now?
Okay, so why I would say it's in vogue is because the world has become like a very, very small village, right?
Yeah.
The fact that I have Naira, or I'm in South Africa, I'm
Mm,
in South Africa and I have Rand, and I'm limited to make payments or make purchases or even receive payments, all because the government, quote unquote, of my home currency have policies in place that tighten the grip on how fiscal or monetary transactions go. So I think the
mm,
adoption is based on the fact that there is a central currency everybody can relate to,
mm,
right? For example,
yeah.
I want to get a course on Udemy, for example. I can simply get a virtual dollar card, right? Or I can even, if I think most of these payment platforms are even enabling USDT now. So I can even make a payment. So it's easier for me to do this without necessarily having to look for only platforms that will support my local fiat. So that way, I don't have there's no border surrounding me. There's no I'm not restricted by where I'm from or by my local currency. So it's easier. I mean, someone can pay for my services in USDT, and if I want to make use of it, I can convert it to my local currency naira and spend. I can leave it in USDT till whenever I want to make use of it. So the adoption is gaining ground because people are having intra and international transactions.
Can digital currency improve financial inclusion in rural areas?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can a whole lot. The only thing, like I said, the only thing is that we need to design rails for this implementation. Now,
Okay.
in rural areas, what they really need, they don't have access to the internet, right? There are little or no cell towers, or is sparsely distributed in these areas. So, what can work? We have systems that make use of USSD rather, right? So,
Yeah.
if I can have a proper and more user-friendly experience using a USSD, I mean, why not? If you tell me that okay, I can make transactions, I can do transactions in crypto or even in USDT to with just using my USD, right? It would actually help to like forestall the whole issue of data and access to the internet, right? Not everybody
Yeah.
will own a smartphone. Not everybody in rural areas will own a smartphone. So if we can narrow down the experience to ensure that the same way we have to log into an application is the same endpoints they consume. What we call it in tech, it's the same endpoints, it's the same what do you call it? The same routes, it's the same infrastructure, but now not needing an application, a mobile app. So once I'm able to engage with my ISP via USSD, I give a command to okay, these are my login details, these are what I need. Send so and so amount of money from this person to this person. And once it goes through, please give me a status of that transaction. I think Opay is doing something like that now. For a transaction, I think you can actually check if the transaction is successful or still pending via USSD. I think I saw the feature some time ago. So we must not all go down the app and internet route. We are still a long way to go, but with what we have now, let's improve on the existing rails of using USSD for financial inclusion in rural areas.
Interesting. Because of time, in 60 seconds, what impact do you think digital currency will have on traditional banks?
A whole lot, a whole lot. So I think what is actually in vogue now is that traditional banks are trying to switch into rails that can enable cross-border payments. We have the PAP system that is currently being fired up from the Central Bank of Ghana throughout and it's gaining adoption in other banks. Now, the core PAPS model is still bordered around digital currency with some one or two specs of traditional banking infrastructure there. So right now, you notice that traditional banks are trying to switch. They are trying to switch. If you don't switch at this point, you get left behind. I mean, somebody comes into the money point comes into the economic sector, into the banking sector, and disrupts it entirely. Flutterwave comes in, disrupts it entirely. You get so if there are things that these people are doing, these companies are doing that traditional banks and they are adopting it actually. So by the time you find out that if you don't move with the trend, you get left behind. That is just what is happening around traditional banks now. And like I always say, change is inevitable. The fact that we're doing something so well 5 years back doesn't mean that it is what will take us to where we are going 5 years from now. So if your system doesn't adapt to what is solving the needs or improving the user of experience of transferring money from one wallet to another, you'll get left behind.
Interesting. Now, what skills should young Nigerians learn to benefit from this space? 60 seconds, please,
Well,
because of time.
okay, so some of the skills you could learn is you could learn how to create smart contracts, right? If you want to get into the blockchain level, you could learn blockchain engineering, learn how to create smart contracts. I think from there you could get into. Of course, there's Web3. The Web3 space is a very knowledgeable space. You must. I'm talking from the point of software development, but there are other value chains along the supply line. So you could get into blockchain and development, blockchain engineering, you write smart contracts, you get into software engineering, you could get into even marketing. There are roles well suited for these things in marketing. I think there are a lot of DeFi conferences here and there. I attend a few of them if I can, right?
Daniel Odiachi, thank you for joining me on the show this week. Despite the network issues, we still try to get some point across. I hope to reach out to you in the future to be able to discuss this further.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.